I ran on open and honest government. And so I found out the rules, and then not only did I go with the rules, you only have to be in that facility 30 days. I was there 90 days before I ran for office. So I don't know what more you need on this issue, but I'm open to your questions.
Mr. Mayor, I want to let you know that it's nothing that I need. I'm just simply forwarding questions from the constituents of the city, and we're trying to have a dialogue regarding it. You bring that up. I just have a summary of 3 things that I have been asked to ask you if you'd be willing to provide. If you wish to, awesome. If you wish to not, I mean, it's just something that residents have asked me to ask you as to whether the 3 things that they've asked as to whether you would be willing to provide for them to satisfy their curiosities regarding your assertions is that any signed lease agreements for the properties that you listed as residents in as much time as that, verification in the form of some bank-generated type documents, canceled checks, or transactions of lease or rental payments on those particular properties, and any land-based utilities, gas, electric, or cable television bills, if you would be willing to provide that for them to satisfy their concerns.
Well, let me ask you this. Would you be able to provide me with your payment on your mortgage? Would you show that to me?
Sure.
What payments you make on your mortgage?
Sure.
And the rest of you would too? You show me the payments you make on your mortgage? The financial arrangement that I have with where I live is none of this document's responsibility. I have an electric bill. I have a copy of an electric bill. If they want to take me to task and try and prove the fact that I don't live there, that's not an issue because I do live there. So they can try that, but that's not the issue. The thing that we have in our community is if people don't like me being their mayor, and I don't have a problem with that. I'm not the brightest guy in town. I'm just saying if they don't like me being their mayor, in another year they vote me out. That's the provision for removing a person from office. You're going to run in a year. If they don't like you as in your position, they're going to vote you out. That's what our community has determined to be the way to get rid of people on the city council that they don't want in the city council. I'm just suggesting that if the issue on my residency is an issue for people, then they should not vote for me. Now, on my door knocking, there were a number of people that said, you don't live in Osseo. I said, I live at 625 First Avenue Northeast, apartment number 2. And they said, I don't believe you. Then the simple solution is, don't vote for me. Anything else, sir?
Well, like I said, I just was bringing this forward because, quite frankly, I was sick of getting the telephone calls. Somebody asked us to have a dialogue about it, and I think we owe our constituents to be able to talk about it in open forum, and I appreciate your willingness to do so. In addition to those things, I think you'd asked a question of Mr. Magson regarding what determines residency. Some people have brought forth to me Minnesota statutes 200.031 as a determination of residence. Is that still an enacted state statute?
It's an active state statute. The statute doesn't directly relate to determining residency of an office holder. It's directed toward determining residency for a voter, but the principles are the same.
Okay, and then that was the big thing here that was given to us, and from what I heard you say, of the documents that the people asked me to bring forth, you did say you'd be willing to bring forth an electric bill. Is that correct for them?
There's 2 things I've shown people already. One was my driver's license. In order to vote in the community where you run, you have to prove your residency. Your driver's license with that information on it is what qualifies you to do that. I've shown my driver's license here at not a city council meeting, might have been a city council meeting before I was elected. Could have been. If you want to look at an electric bill, it's pretty high. But
it's not an issue for me. I just ask you to have Mr. Dahl put it up on the overhead projector.
If it's not an issue for you, then I would say if somebody asks you about my residency, you would say 625 First Avenue Northeast, apartment number 2. Because when they ask me about your residency, I just tell them your address. If you'd like to put this on the overhead, I'm perfectly happy with that. I don't think it's necessary. If nobody wants it, I'm comfortable with that too.
Well, I'm happy to put it up there.
Throw it up there so all the people.
Yeah, I just want people to.
Like I said, I just want
to answer their questions. I mean, I was sick of getting the questions. sick of getting the calls. And when somebody finally asked, I just figured that I would allow you the opportunity to address the people that are spinning these tales about your residency.
Spinning these tales about my residency.
Yeah.
Isn't that an interesting way to put it? I would expect next time somebody is spinning a tale about where I live, you will tell them 625 First Avenue Northeast.
Well, and
Is that expecting too much from a city council member?
I'll just tell them to come to the city hall and ask them. I don't memorize the address. Couldn't tell you Mr. Weber's, Mr. Poppy's, nor Mr. Hartkoff's. I could. I just want to thank you, Mr. Mayor, for discussing this openly, and hopefully the calls to us will stop so that we can indeed focus on more pressing issues.
Very well.